Hey everyone, Penem here again. Today, well, after quite a lot of people who saw my previous deck profile for ABCs, well, a lot of you guys wanted to see the combos in action. And believe it or not, I really wanted to do that in the previous vid, but the vid was taking too much time. And so let's make a quick vid with the combos inside. I won't do any test hands because those tend to be a little tedious and you never know what you're gonna draw, so you never really truly know if you're gonna see all the combos going off. So let's just start with some very common and easy combos, and we'll go into the bigger complicated ones a little later. But first turn, usually you will be able to get one Link Monster and one ABC on board. With only 2 cards, or 3 depending on how lucky you are. But with 3 cards, you can easily get those 2, and some more cards in your hand, plus you already had 2 other cards on your first turn, so those could be hand traps or traps to negate your opponent's play, I guess. So let's go over this quick combo. You need 1 gadget, 1 piece, and, well, this could be any piece, and this could be any of the 2 gadgets, and your field spell or a 3rd piece. Doesn't really matter which one. Obviously, you want to see your field more than the rest, but yeah, let's just go with these 3. You could easily search this with the 3 terraformings in the deck, or you could get at least C and B would be the other 2 pieces really you need to see, because A will not really help you go off with this combo. But, whatever. Let's put C back. Let's go with the more optimal option. So obviously, you'll play Union Hanger. We'll use this column for the middle column of the game, so these will be the 2 link zones and the board. So basically, activate Union Hanger. Search for a piece. Let's say search for A. Then, summon Silver. Special summon Buster, either attack or defense. I usually put it in defense in case the opponent stops the rest of the combo, but whatever. Equip C to B, and basically that's all you need to play from your hand. So with 3 cards, you have a pretty decent board, but that's not where it stops. Basically now what you do is a link 2 using Silver and B to special summon Clifford Genius, or Underclock, but obviously Clifford Genius is better in this situation. There are a lot of reasons why Clifford Genius is better, but for now, we'll just go over the actual combo. So this activates the effect of B and C. B will allow you to search from your deck to your hand, while C will allow you to special summon, but to activate C's effect, you already need a target in your hand. That's why Union Hanger is a very useful card for this combo. Otherwise, you would need a 3rd card in your hand to make the combo viable. A 3rd piece in your hand to make the combo viable. But yeah, so now you get to search for either another C, or a B, or an A. Obviously, I will go for a C because it's a little more optimal, let's say. So you summon C. You can summon anywhere, basically. It doesn't really matter. And at this point, you go into a link 3. Which will activate C's effect, but we'll keep going with Decode first. And now Decode is on the field, and you get to special summon A from your hand. Now this is where it gets a little difficult, because you have some decisions to make. You could leave this on the board if you have some other options, like another A in your grave because you're lucky and you had Twin Twisters, and you were going second or whatever. That's also another viable option. But for now, this is the best way to do it at the moment. But this is how you will make... Either you make ABC right now, using A and 2 of these pieces, or you make, I guess, you could make Firewall with this. You could just leave it B for the turn and use this as a piece for Decode. But yeah, this is how you go. You banish this, and you banish 2 of these to make ABC. Now, it's not the most optimal option. Obviously, there are a lot of variables. This does not allow you to use A's effect and stuff like that, but this is the most basic combo you can have on this board, I guess. If you started the game with 2 gadgets in hand, 2 different gadgets in hand, and the other combo pieces you needed, you could easily still have another card here and use A's effect for searchability and stuff like that. But for now, that's the most easy and simple combo you can do. Otherwise, you could have just left Cliffort, made another monster here, and gone for the big combos without decode with ABC, but it's pretty much the same at that point. Other combos that are very easy to do, let's just, for example, you ended your first turn with this on board. This needs 2 cards, 3 cards to make it, so it's not that hard. And at the same time, that means you also have some cards in your hand that are able to either stop your opponent or to be able to be set to stop your opponent on their turn 2, or to use for ABC's effect. But let's say your opponent is a mean person and they decide to Raigeki you. Or, you know, they decide to just smash your ABC with something. I don't quite know. Sometimes also with your back row or your hand, you will be able to stop your opponent from doing whatever. But here it's just a solitaire option. Let's just say your opponent had crap, you banished one of their cards, and you stopped your opponent from activating their field spell or whatever, using your face down cards or your ash in your hand to stop them from searching and whatever. They summon a monster, they get rid of Genius by battle, because, you know, they're in a desperate situation, they need to clear as much as they can. End of your turn, tribute this, special summon back one of each of the pieces that were banished, and then you get to use your field spells effect, and this will allow you to equip, let's say we'll equip B to A. Doesn't really matter because you're not going to leave it equipped for long. On your turn, not only will you draw a card, but you don't need to normal summon to use your field spell. You can just unequip this, which basically special summons it, and it allows you to equip it with a piece from your deck. Very easy, very good combos are available right now, and that's in the possibility that your opponent did not leave you with Clifford Genius. If Clifford Genius was still here, that would be another deal, but we'll go with these because these are more frequent. At this point, you can easily go for a Link 2. And here we'll make another Genius, I guess. You could easily go for anything, but Genius is the best option at this point. This allows you to search with B for an A. Now that you have an A, you can easily make a Link. Let's use these one. So this plus Genius makes a Link 3. Decode. And this is the combo that most people really wanted to see. It's a second turn combo, but it's a very powerful combo. This allows you to use B and C's effect. So B will allow you to search. So let's say we search for another B or whatever. And C allows you to special summon. You can summon any one of these. You already have a piece of each in your graveyard, so you don't have to worry on that part. I would go for B because B can allow you to do some more combos. But yeah, let's go for B for now. Basically, with this, you have a lot of options again. But no, never mind B. We'll search using, using C. We will search with for C using B. Pardon me, that was a little miscalculated or whatever. But at this point, you will also be able to do a lot more combos. You summon A using the C's effect, and then you can make a Link. Let's say make a Link 2. So this allows you to go into Underclock, which can be over here or wherever. This allows you to use the special summoning ability of C and the recycle ability of A. And this is what your grave looks like right now. So you could recycle a B, you could recycle a C or an A. I would recycle a B because you want to see other pieces too. And now you get to special summon one from your hand. Special summon C. Now with this, you can easily do a lot more shenanigans or whatever. But at this point, you haven't normal summoned yet. Normal summon B, or you know, instead of C, you could recycle A and use its recycle ability again to do whatever. That's even more optimal actually. And at this point, you have 4 monsters. Technically, this counts as 2 to make Decode. So you use all of these to make yourself a Jolly Borlo Dragon, which allows you in turn to recycle a card, and search for a card. You could recycle any of your pieces, but you have 3 Cs in your grave, and you already tributed one of your ABCs, so you don't need 3 Cs. That's with A, and with B, you will search for any of the remaining pieces in your deck. I would go for A, personally, because, that's the one you want to see in your grave the most when you discard. And from there, you banish A, B, and C for ABC over here, which boosts him by another 500, so he's at 33, he's at 3,000, and he's at 3,000. And then you banish another ABC, pardon me, here, and A, B, and C over here to allow you to summon another ABC. So basically, you started the turn with Field Spell and 1 ABC card. Now, with only those 2 cards, you're left with your Field Spell that was originally here, and Decode 2 ABCs with 2 cards to discard for them, and a Borreload Dragon that still has a zone to steal an opponent's monster. Pardon me. This is what won me a lot of games lately. That's why I got a lot of first place in locals and stuff like that. This combo is insane. If your opponent does not have any disruptions, or if you have... Pardon me, my throat is sore right now. If you have Called by the Grave in your hand to stop your opponent from disrupting you, second turn, easy, over 12,000 attack, and 2 disruptions, easy stealing opponent monsters and stuff, and you have a 3,300 attack monster if the opponent... Pardon me, I'll have to pause. Pardon me about that. My throat was so sore from talking so much and so fast. I had to drink. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, this is basically the field that made me capable of winning a lot of games in 2 or 3 turns max. This is insane. This is so easy to make. I showed you guys just previously how easy it is to get your Genius and 1 ABC on board. With just 3 cards at the beginning of the game, you can easily get that, and that's how you basically win. But yeah, if the opponent left that Genius here at your beginning of that turn, that is a whole different thing. Because at the end of your opponent's turn, when you tribute ABC, this gives you your 3 monsters here, and obviously you get to equip, but this also activates Genius's effect. And this is why I love this card so much. This card is basically immune to Raigeki, Dark Hole, Torrential Tribute. It's immune to a lot of things. The only thing it's not immune to is other monster effects that aren't Link monsters. Or basically attack, because, it's not that great of an attack monster, but you can protect it. Still, this card, when you summon monsters to its arrow zones, simultaneously, you get to search for your Cyber Dragon in deck. And that's why it's such a great card, because if you do get this off, and your opponent attacks it, well, okay then. You don't care. You still have a Cyber Dragon to steal your opponent's Link monsters at your next turn. This is why Genius is so versatile in here. It gives you zones. It's an easy way to send some machines from field to grave, which is exactly what you want to do in this deck. And it's able to search for some outs to whatever your opponent was planning on using against you. This is why Genius is so great. Also, if you're basically, if you are in trouble because your opponent is able to stop you from doing whatever, or if you're bricking real hard and your opponent has a 1700 attack monster, which is pretty rare, but you never know. 1800 attack is not nothing. It can still beat your opponent up to a certain amount, and that's why it's so great. So those were the main big combos that people asked for. There are a lot of other combos this deck makes. It's ridiculous how many combos you get. So obviously Cyber Dragon is a great card. You can easily start with Cyber Dragon and your Field Spell going second, and this allows you to go into a lot of Link summoning. It's ridiculous. Use this to search for, let's say, B or whatever, and you had another piece in hand or whatever, You have some stuff. Well, your opponent had something because you're going second. Summon Cyber Dragon. Now is where it gets a little iffy for the opponent. They could either waste their Solims or their Summon Negation on Cyber Dragon because they fear you will steal their Link monsters, or they will let it slide, and that's where it gets fun for you. You could either use Cyber Dragon and your opponent's monsters in the Link zones to make Chimeratech Mega Fleet, which is a very good option. It's got 2400 or 3600 attack right off the bat, and basically, that's it. You don't need much more to use this card, and it's very capable of hurting your opponent a lot, mid-game, early game, whatever. But let's just assume the opponent had something in their zone, so you use those to make Mega Fleet. So you already stopped your opponent from doing something or whatever. You used Cyber Dragon as a bait or whatever. But here is when the fun starts, because you've got Mega Fleet. You can summon B, equip it with C from your deck, and make a Link 2. For, you guessed it, Genius, which allows you to use C and B's effects, so you can special summon A, and you can search for anything really, or you could search with B for C, special summon C with C's effect, go into a Link 3, which will be Decode, and then you get C's other effect to special summon A, and well, voila. I mean, you've got a very good board after disrupting your opponent's field. Also, this got you a lot of pieces in the grave. You can easily banish these 3 to get an ABC, and that's only using 3 cards in your hand. You get an ABC, a Decode, your field spell, so basically you didn't waste any cards, it's a 3 for 3, but you got rid of one of your opponent's cards, and you still have 1 piece in your grave. That's very powerful. That's how the deck is so reliable. That's the best way of doing it. Also, if the opponent, by any chance, you still had, I guess these were the 2 cards I used for the example. So if you have, after playing Unit Hanger, you still have these 3, you summon Cyber Dragon, the opponent saw it coming, and they Solimed it. This is where a lot of people do not understand the worth of one of the cards in here, and that card is Clara and Rushka the Ventrilo Duo. Yes, it's only summonable during main phase 2, but it's still better than nothing. It really is better than nothing. You summon any of these, I would probably go with B at this point. If you can't attack anything, do it, I guess, but whatever. Equip it with C. Now you can make a Link. You can make a Link 1 in your main phase 2 for Clara, which allows you to search with B and summon with C. So, you know, summon A or whatever. Make a Link 2. And now you can't go into Cliffort because Clara is Spellcaster. You need Underclock for this. This is also why we play 2 Underclock in this deck. One for the Clara combo, and another one in case we have some unwanted cards we need to get rid of. But Underclock Taker right here, very powerful. The opponent might try to do something to it, but you don't really care. At this point, you just sent your A to the grave. So you have 3 pieces to banish, to summon your own ABC, because you have 1 zone with Underclock. And yes, this is main phase 2, but this also lets you with 1 piece in your hand. So for 2 cards in hand, you're left with 1, and these 2 big monsters on the board. Well, not big, but you know, they're very capable of a lot of carnage. And ABC, tribute during your opponent's turn, bring these back, and you know the rest of the combo, guys. I mean, we've just went over it. These 3 with an equip, boom, you got your Borreload, Decode, and 2 ABCs. That's insane. You bricked on the first turn, or your opponent stopped you from disrupting their field, and you still get on the next turn an ABC and Underclock, and the turn after that, you get your big combo with over 12,000 attack. That's how the deck is insanely powerful. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to do so. The rest of the combos are pretty simple. You could easily, if you brick at the beginning of the game and you have these two in your hand and whatever other card, you can easily, even if you just have one of each of the gadgets or two of the same, you don't really care, summon both. You could go for a Link. You could also go for an XYZ, which is why we play Rafflesia in here. Summon her. She's got 2500 defense, and she can use bottomlesses from your deck. Take it. Just take it. Take advantage of the fact that you can do that instead of bricking with two gadgets and going into a Cliff Fort, which is not useful when you don't have any of the rest of the combo pieces. At least you can stop your opponent from doing at least one summon a turn, and it's a 2500 defense monster. It's not nothing, you know? And Monster Reborn, just like most of the combos that need Soul Charge, is an insane enabler in this deck. When you tribute an ABC to use for the big combo, you end up with two ABCs, one Borreload, and one Decode. But if you use Monster Reborn, you can get a third ABC on your field, which also still leaves the one zone for your Borreload, and now you're over 15,000 damage in one turn, and you have 3 banishing effects. Ouch, is all I will say. The opponent will not enjoy that. So yeah, those were the most common combos you go into with this deck. There are a lot more options, but most of the rest of the deck is ways to search cards or ways to stop your opponent from playing. So yeah, there are a lot of combos. Skill Drain works pretty well with ABC for a lot of reasons. You guys should know them. If you don't, really it's simple, but I hope you guys will be able to ask the remainder of your questions in the comment section down below. I hope this will have answered to most of you guys' questions from the previous vid, and maybe given some insight on how to play the deck. Until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure, and Penem out.